Hello everyone. Today we will discuss the topic of pigment and calcification and intracellular accumulation. Now you know that the cytoplasm is a very fluidy background. So anything can be there, will be suspended in that. So inside the cytoplasm, the constituent may be normal cellular constituent, that is lipid and protein, abnormal substances which may be product of the abnormal metabolism, and there can be a pigment. So these are the things we can see inside the cytoplasm. So they are known as intracellular constituent or the intracellular accumulation, where they are when they are in excess or when their presence is abnormal. Now first we take the pigment. They are the color substance, may be normal constituent of the cell, for example melanin, or maybe abnormal product. There can be exogenous or endogenous. The example of endogenous pigments are, first we discuss that only, so we will discuss that melanin, hemoglobin derivatives and lipofuscin. So first of all, melanin. Everybody aware with melanin. It is a colored pigment which gives color to the skin. It is endogenous brown to black pigment, and it is present when there is a conversion of tyrosine to dihydrophenylalanine with the help of enzyme tyrosinase, and this reaction gave rise to melanin in the melanocyte. Melanin gives color to hair, skin and eye, and it also present in leptomeninges, adrenal medulla and central nerve cells. Their main function is protection. The pituitary gland secretes melanocyte stimulating hormone, and it is a part of ACTH. So whenever there is an increased ACTH level, it will lead to increased pigmentation. And sex hormones are also involved in the control of pigmentation. So when anything is abnormal, any abnormality is there with these two things, that ACTH and sex hormone, also leads to the variation in the pigmentation or the pigment disorder. The pathological appearance and staining reaction are identical whatever the mechanism of accumulation is. So whatever the cause is there, but the pathological appearance of this pigment, that melanin, remain the same. It appears as a coarse brown-black granular pigment lying within the cell's cytoplasm. Initially, the pigment is found within the macrophage, but later accumulates within the cytoplasm of parenchymal cells of kidney, liver, pancreas, heart and skin. So whenever hyperpigmentation is there, you can also find accumulation of melanin pigment in these organs: kidney, liver, pancreas, heart and skin. This is the normal presentation of the melanin pigment. You can see a brown coloration pigment in the epithelial cell. So this melanin pigment is either in the form of excess pigmentation or it can be a hypopigmentation. First we discuss the excessive pigmentation. Excessive pigmentation may be generalized hyperpigmentation, which is associated with the raised ACTH level, and it is more marked in the exposed part in Addison's disease. Excessive pigmentation can be due to estrogen, which is a sex hormone, and usually found a pregnancy-associated pigmentation in nipple, genitalia, and vagina. There can be prolonged administration of chlorpromazine, which leads to hyperpigmentation, and chronic malnutrition and chronic arsenic poisoning also leads to hyperpigmentation. This is the figure of various example of hyperpigmentation in case of Addison's disease. You can find in the nail, in the palm creases, and in the gum. So these are the area where you can find a hyperpigmentation typically in case of Addison's disease. Again, you can see hyperpigmentation. You compare just two palms. This is the patient's palm, hyperpigmented. Hyperpigmentation in the gum area, in the nail ridges, So that was the general hyperpigmentation. Now, when you found focal hyperpigmentation, the example of this are freckles, Kaffer spots, and Peutz-Jeghers syndrome. The freckles are the scattered area of pigmentation, and they are commonly skin of the normal people. Usually in the fair people, you found this frequently. Kaffer spots are the large pigmented patches commonly associated with neurofibromatosis and Albright's syndrome. And also found in the Peutz-Jeghers syndrome, there's a brown pigmentation around the mouth. So these are the example of focal hyperpigmentation. You can see the freckles, the hyperpigmented patches over the skin. Again, freckles on the face. These are the carpellary spots found in the neurofibromatosis. Similarly, carpellary spots, patient of neurofibromatosis in which you found that spots. Hyperpigmentation you can easily make out here. Peutz-Jeghers syndrome, you found this hyperpigmentation around the mouth area. Similar, Peutz-Jeghers syndrome. Chloisma in case of pregnancy, you can find a hyperpigmentation of skin. Similar, again, chloisma. Arsenic poisoning, you can find a hyperpigmentation in the former aspect of skin. Similar case. Now that all about the hyperpigmentation. Now we go to the lack of the pigmentation or the hyperpigmentation. Again, it can be generalized. Example are albinism, that is defective tyrosine kinase activity in the melanocytes. Then panhypopituitarism and phenylketonuria. These are the syndromes in which you can find a lack of pigmentation or the hyperpigmentation. You can see the hyperpigmentation in this. And focally found in the cutaneous partial albinism, leprosy, burns, and vitiligo. So these are the examples of focal hyperpigmentation. That was the generalized, and this was the focal. Vitiligo, example of focal hyperpigmentation. Leprosy is this example of focal hyperpigmentation. You can see a complete lack of melanin pigment in this layer. Hyperpigmented pages in case of leprosy. You can also see that the burn scar is there, which show hyperpigmentation in case of patient of burns. The condition where a melanin-like pigment is present in a cartilage of ear, larynx, trachea, and joint is known as onchronosis, and it generally occurs in alkaptonuria. And the pigment is supposedly formed from the homogenetic acid. So this is the condition where we found increased melanin pigmentation, and usually patient is having a history of passing a black color urine. The condition is also known as onchronosis. You can find the melanin pigment in the cartilaginous area. Trachea. It is a tracheal. Again, in pigmentation, you can find in the second pigment, that is hemoglobin derivatives. You all know the this metabolism of hemoglobin. It comes from the RBC because of the intravascular hemolysis. The hemoglobin is here. It converted into methemoglobin. It then broken into the heme and globin. Heme is going to hemotoxin and goes to liver. And in the liver, the metabolism takes place, converting into bilirubin, and it is then circulated as unconjugated bilirubin, or it can be used for the further RBC metabolism. Free hemoglobin can go to the kidney and cause a hemoglobinuria when it is under excess. The systemic overload of iron leads to hemosiderin deposition in many organs and tissue, and this condition is known as hemosiderosis. In many pathological states, excess hemosiderin accumulates within the cells. It can be localized or generalized and identified by the Horsham reaction. So it is a species stain for hemosiderin or iron. Here the colorless potassium ferrocyanide reacts with the ferric ion to create insoluble blue colored ferric ferrocyanide. The causes of this is increased absorption of the anthrial, impaired utilization of iron, hemolytic anemia, and then there is a multiple transfusion is there. So these are the cause of hemosiderosis. Now localized hemosiderosis, when there is a part of the organ is involved. Commonest example is bruises when you have some trauma. The RBC that aggregate are broken down and this ultimately leads to the hemosiderin formation. The color chain that a bruise moves through represent the background of hemoglobin. Red is the hemoglobin, blue to green is bilirubin, yellow is bilirubin, and golden yellow is hemosiderin. So you can find this in the star mark whenever the wound is healing there. So this is a photograph of old hemorrhage. You can see hemoglobin is being metabolized into the component parts, that is hemosiderin. This is the bruises. You can see here on the periphery the collection of hemosiderin is there. Now pulmonary hemosiderosis is again terminology you have to cover it. Characteristic feature is the presence of heart failure cell, that is a hemosiderin laden macrophage in the heart, usually found in the LPL. So this is again example of pulmonary hemosiderosis. Remember alveolar macrophage, they are also known as heart failure cell, which are the hemosiderin laden alveolar macrophage. These are the heart failure cell. You can see the hemosiderin pigment inside the alveolar macrophages. Similar, alveolar macrophage containing the hemosiderin pigment. Low power view of the same slide. Now, second condition is the hemochromatosis or the Crohn's diabetes. It is usually seen in case of diabetes mellitus and liver fibrosis. It's extreme accumulation of iron associated with liver and pancreatic damage, and it considered to be an inborn error of metabolism. So it is also known as Crohn's diabetes, which is most commonly found in patients of diabetes mellitus, and it is a hemochromatosis. You can see the liver, pancreas, and lymph node all have a distinct dark brown appearance. Liver at the top. This is the pancreas, and this is the lymph node. You can see your liver granules in the liver, hemosiderin granules in the liver cell. And similar slide is stained with a spacious stain that is Gaussian blue. You can see a dark brown or bluish stain, which are the hemosiderin granules. So for hemosiderin, the spacious stain is Gaussian blue. Similar liver section, we found hemosiderin laden liver cell. Liver fibrosis, slide of liver fibrosis. Again, hemochromatosis of the liver, we found hemosiderin granules in the liver cell. Spacious stain of the same slide with a Gaussian blue stain. Same slide with a Gaussian blue stain. Gaussian blue stain again, you can see a dark blue stain. Now another pigment of hemoglobin metabolism, that is bilirubin. It's a normal major pigment found in the body, visible only when the patient is severely jaundiced, and appear as a green-brown to black globular deposits. In advanced case, that may lead to photocytic necrosis. So it is a bile pigment usually found in the severe cases of jaundice. This is a Keyfisher ring you can find in the patient of jaundice in the body because of the deposition of liver. Now the other pigment that is endogenous pigment, it is a lipofuscin. It is insoluble pigment, also known as lipochrome or wear and tear pigment. Lipofuscin is composed of polymers of lipid and phospholipid in complex with the protein, suggesting that it is derived through lipid peroxidation of polyunsaturated lipids of subcellular membrane. So it is a complex substance. It represents collection of indigestible material in lysosomes after autophagy, and so it is an example of residuous burn. And it is a telltale sign of free radical injury and lipid peroxidation. In tissue section, it appears as a yellow-brown, fine granular cytoplasmic, open perinuclear pigment, and it is seen in cells undergoing slow regressive changes. And it is particularly in liver and heart of a aging patient. So whenever we found a lipofuscin, it is one of the signs of aging of the cell. And remember, it is a composed of a polymer of lipids phospholipid with the protein. Now, all that we discussed are the endogenous pigment. Now come to the exogenous pigment. Commonest is the carbon and coal dust, as we it's a complication of pollution. The inhalation picked up by the alveolar and it is transferred to the facial lymph node. This leads to black coloration of lung and involved lymph node. It is also known as anthracosis, so it is one of the pneumoconiosis. In certain high-risk individuals, for example in the coal miners, the aggregation of carbon may lead to fibroblastic reaction and even emphysema. So it is known as coal worker pneumoconiosis. So it is an example of exogenous pigment in the lungs. Tattooing is the another form of localized exogenous pigmentation of the skin. Pigments like India in carbon and cinnamon taken by the dermal macrophage and lie permanently in the connective tissue. And this pigment do not involve any inflammatory reaction. Second exogenous pigment is the calcium. So, and the deposition is known as calcification. It is defined as a deposition of calcium salt in tissue other than osteoid or enamel. So now it is a normal part of the osteoid enamel, but when it is present in the other part, it is known as abnormal calcification. As calcium is radio opaque, appears prominently in X-ray. Two types of calcification is present. One is a dystrophic calcification, and second one is the metastatic calcification. First, to discuss the dystrophic calcification. There is a deposition of calcium salt in dead or degenerated tissue. The plasma level of calcium and phosphate are normal. So it is very important to know this because it's a differentiating point that is from the metastatic calcification. In dystrophic calcification, the plasma level of calcium and phosphate always remain normal, and the calcium salt are always in the dead and degenerated tissue. Now, metastatic calcification. It's a precipitation of calcium salt in apparently normal. This one is very important. Normal tissue as a result of generalized alteration in the calcium phosphate metabolism. So usually associated with the hypercalcemia. So you can easily differentiate it from the dystrophic where the calcium level is normal. Here it is hypercalcemia and that is always in the dead and degenerated tissue while it is apparently in the apparently normal tissue. Now what is the mechanism? So there is initiation and propagation in case of calcification. In the initiation, it takes place extracellularly in membrane-bound vesicles from the affected cell and can also take place in the mitochondria. And one initiated it embryo propagation, that is a further growth of hepatite crystal. Now, what do you mean by hypertrophic calcification? Microscopically, you see a calcium shoal appears granular deposits staining very deep blue in color, and if you use a special stain, it's stained red with Algerian red, and it's stained black with the von processing. So these are the two special stain for calcification. So whenever you have a doubt that whether it is a calcium salt or something else, you have to use these two special stain, von Prosa and Algerian red stain. Now we discuss what do you mean by dystrophic calcification. So the dead tissue, that is a caseous material, dead parasite, fat necrosis, infarct areas, hematoma, and thrombi. These are the ways for the dystrophic calcification. And degenerative tissue such as scars, chronic inflammatory granulation tissue, abscess, disease heartworms, healed endocarditis, atheromas, Mogenbach sclerosis, senile degenerative tissue, degenerative goiters, degenerative tumors, all are other basis for the dystrophic calcification. So dead and degenerated tissue make the base for the dystrophic calcification. And some tumors also show circumscribed spheres of calcification, that it is known as calcospheroids. Examples are samoma bodies of meningioma and papillary carcinoma of thyroid. So these two are the example of dystrophic calcification. Now what is the calcinosis universalis? Rare manifestation of systemic sclerosis or dermatomyositis, it is known as calcinosis universalis. There is a widespread calcification of the skin, subcutaneous tissue, muscles, and tendons. You can see universalis. You can see calcification all over, except on the bone. You can find in the soft tissue also calcification. Tumoral calcinosis, large cancerous swelling in the subcutaneous tissue near the large joints, elbow, shoulders, hips, and loins. So it is known as tumoral calcinosis. It is a tumorous calcinosis of muscle. You can see deposition of calcium inside the muscle tissue. Again, skin nodules show the tumorous calcinosis. Now, what do you mean chondrocalcinosis? It is characterized by deposition of calcium pyrophosphate crystal in the cartilage, and it results in the chronic arthritis. It may be aggravated by the attack of chronic synovitis, during which crystals of the calcium pyrophosphates are present in the joint fluid, also known as pseudocouts. So in this case, you can find a calcium deposition. This is the joint fluid and in which you found a calcium deposition. Now, second type of calcification, that is metastatic calcification. It is caused by disorders of metabolism of calcium and phosphate. It is usually associated with hypercalcemia, and a normal or low plasma calcium level may be found in certain instances, but majority of time you found a hypercalcemia. Causes of metastatic calcification are hyperparathyroidism, neoplasia, hyperphosphatemia, excessive absorption of calcium from the blast movement, hypervitaminosis D, vitamin D sensitive states, sarcoidosis, compulsive milk drink, or the milk alkali syndrome. Sites where you found the metastatic calcification are kidney, especially around tubules, that is also known as nephrocalcinosis, lung, blood vessels around the coronaries, and cornea. Thank you.